Today on the MarineAndReef.com budget tanks build series, we're going to show you guys how to use a fish trap. Now the reason we're using this fish trap is we had a disease outbreak in this tank where some clownfish brought in some marine velvet and it wiped out a lot of our fish, and the remaining fish, which are our wrasse and a couple of the damsels, we want to remove from the tank and medicate in a separate aquarium to make sure they're not carrying that disease. Now in order to do that, we need to catch them out, and doing that with a net is near impossible at this stage. We've got enough corals in this tank that we don't really want to pull a rock out. We risk knocking them over on top of the corals, smashing them. So really getting in there with our hands in a net isn't very practical at this point. So we're going to use a fish trap. Now we've selected this IceCap small fish trap. These come in small, medium, and large. Because the fish that we're looking for are maybe 1 to 2 inches long, we don't need anything other than the very smallest size. And one unique thing about these fish traps is they come flat. So most fish traps come pretty big, and that's actually what makes them pretty expensive, is they're pretty easy to break and come in pretty large packaging. What makes these affordable is the fact they do fold flat, and then you build them back up yourself. So without further ado, we're going to open this guy up, show you guys what you get inside the box, what it looks like, and then once we have it built, we're going to put it in the tank and show you guys how you use it. All right, we've gone ahead and got our fish trap assembled. What we're gonna do is the fish trap is gonna get mounted to the glass of the tank with this suction cup. Then we're gonna leave this little tube, and you can adjust the height of the tube with the rubber ring where it's just above the water. We can open up the lid on the top, and that'll allow us to pour some food in as bait for the fish. Meanwhile, this door we're gonna hold open, and we got our little pull on the other end so we can hold it. And then as soon as we see a fish come in, we drop the door and the fish is trapped. We can then go in with a net and scoop the fish out. What I've learned over time is that it takes a while for the fish to get used to a trap like this. So what we're actually going to do is we're about to head home for the weekend, and I'm just going to leave the trap in all weekend long. By leaving it in, it's going to get the fish very used to it, where they just think it's a normal part of the tank rather than something weird and unusual. Don't feel strange if you have to leave this in overnight. Wait till the next day for it to work. I've also found I can't sit there that long holding on to this little tab. So very often I will rest it on something. I'll put something heavy underneath it to hold it in place. Since my desk is right over there, I'm going to probably put a heavy stapler or something on it. And then once I see the fish go in, I'll pull that off, let the door fall down, and catch the fish inside. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this put inside the aquarium. All right, we're gonna go ahead and put the trap inside of the tank. So we got our feeding tube where we can drop in the food up at the top. We're then gonna just hold the door open, and that's where I'll rest it underneath something. And then for now, to bait the trap, I'm just gonna use some of the New Life Spectrum pellet food that we've been using. Put some in there for them too. So the fish should smell the food. It's going to slowly drop down in that tube, and then they should go in to get it. At that point, we can drop the door once we see them inside the trap. And again, this usually takes a while. It can often take a day or more before the fish are accustomed enough to it. It really helps to only feed through the feeding tube for that period. That's the only way they can get food. Gotta work to get that suction cup on a bit better. And again, it's just a waiting game from here on. So we're gonna update you guys once the fish are actually in the trap, because you know this could take a long time and we're not going to sit here for a few days. When that comes, we'll follow up and show you guys how it worked out.